So I wanted to start this with some sad news, unfortunately. And if you're in the silver chat, then you already saw this. But we did have an ambassador who passed away from an illness. And so we just wanted to say our thoughts and prayers are with them. It was Astrid, if you all know her. I know Clayton and Dr. Ram are working on reaching out to her family. But we're just sending up prayers and our sympathy and thoughts to her family. And so I wanted to start off with that. It was really sad for us all to hear. There's Clayton. Clayton, I was just telling everybody about Astrid and that our thoughts and prayers are with her family and her friends. And it was really sad news to see. So thank you all for who reached out. Those of you who reached out to tell us. We're thankful for those who think to include us in that because, we think so fondly of Astrid and it hit us hard. Clayton, I don't know if you had anything else to say.
We'll, as you mentioned, we'll be coming out with some stuff and putting together some things for her boys, and yeah, our announcements. While it's sudden to a lot of people, was not new to us. Christina had worked with Astrid on, her journey for months now. So, but hopefully it gives everyone an appreciation for the value of the gifts you're given, because sometimes the time that you think you're allocated is a lot shorter than you might expect. And we should all learn to value it as much as we can. And those relationships around you, sometimes you don't know the struggles that each individual is going on that they don't talk about, right? And I think that's an important piece of actually having community and connecting with people, because it pays dividends.
I'm going to ruin one of Dylan's traditions or things he does, but I do think it's important. But Dylan ends any calls he has with his friends by saying, I love you.
Certain friends. People with mutual respect, I make sure they hang up with the phone and say, I love you and I love you back. Because you never know when the last time you're going to see them is.
Dobrý, už jsem na kanále. Dobrý, díky moc. Já jsem prostě nebyla připojená na tlumočnickém kanále. Já bych velmi ráda podpořila to, co říká Clayton, že je velmi dobré s těmi, které máte opravdu rádi, které máte ve svém životě, mluvit o tom, co všechno pro vás dělají. Člověk nedokáže nikdy nic predikovat, nikdy nic předvídat. Zítra může být všechno úplně jinak, než je dneska. Jenom pár věcí předtím, než začneme. Velmi dobré prodeje jsme měli zejména v kontextu Ella Pure. Díky tomu překvapení, které pro vás na 4. července připravil Dylan. To jsem nebyl Clayton, to jsem nebyl já, to byli všichni ostatní s mojí podporou. Každopádně Bylenku a Clean Spirits se velmi dobře prodávaly a proto si myslím, že jsme si mohli dovolit i takovou malou soutěž. Když někdo z vás teď přivede nějakého nového zákazníka na bylenku nebo nějaký jiný produkt a tomu člověku řeknete, že může vyhrát, tak a on vám svolí s tím, že nám můžete předat jeho jméno, tak my ho potom zařadíme do slosování. Pošlete Dylanovi vzkaz. Nebo to dejte do chatu. Předtím, než začneme s tímto webinářem, tak bych chtěl říci, že se neustále snažíme, aby ty webináře byly trošičku zábavnější, abychom díky nim byli naší komunitě blíže a aby byly také informativní, ale hlavně, aby to byla sranda, aby to prostě nebyla nuda. Měly by být, a když seš tady ty, Claytone, tak to je vždycky sranda. A nedovedu si představit, že by tady byl někdo, kdo by nějakou trošku legraci nevyužil v této temné době. Každopádně pro ty z vás, kteří jste nebyli na těch country callech, na těch dedikovaných webinářích pro jednotlivé země, tak jsme nabídli na těch webinářích, že když dáte dohromady tým nebo komunitu potenciálních zákazníků, nějakých 15 až 20 lidí na webinář, tak napište nám, Martimu, Claytonovi, Dylanovi, mně, komukoliv a my s vámi na ten webinář půjdeme a budeme tam s vámi. Určitě, když tam bude víc než 10 nebo 15 lidí, tak jsme velmi rádi se připojit na 10 až 15 minut, mluvit, nebo tam být prostě pasivně, podpořit vás nějakým způsobem, když nás potřebujete. Takže jenom ještě znovu zdůrazňuji, že tady ta nabídka je. Pokud jste nebyli na těch webinářích pro jednotlivé země, tak to asi nevíte. To je dobře, že jste to opakoval, protože já si myslím, že je dobré, že můžeme si vzájemně pomoci. Claytone, Dylane, máte někdo něco předtím, než začneme? Ne, já nic nemám. Já taky ne. Takže jedna z věcí, které Clayton, Kristýna a naši lídři v rámci Root Community požádali, abychom udělali, je, abychom jednou za 6 měsíců udělali webinář na téma compliance, to znamená soulad s legislativou, soulad se všemi pravidly. Je to vlastně takový webinář, kontrolní webinář, kde si řekneme, jak se chovat, abychom neporušovali pravidla. Takže dnešní webinář bude tedy na pravidla. Takže projdeme si napřed tím, o jaká pravidla se jedná, s čím vlastně musíte počítat, na co nesmíte zapomínat. A v druhé půlce našeho webináře pak předám slovo Claytonovi. A Clayton nám řekne o tom, jak se k problematice souladu nebo compliance, dodržování musí postavit ambasadoři, kteří to nemají zase tak úplně problematický. Máme vlastně, to je takový nový segment našich ambasadorských webinářů. Claytonovi tipy a triky, tomu budeme říkat. Já se učím marketingovým dovednostem, takže já se stále učím, tak pojďme si přidat projít jednu velmi důležitou věc, která se týká právě souladu s pravidly. Naši ambasadoři, když sdílejí materiály, tak se může stát, že sdílejí takové materiály, které nejsou v souladu s legislativou nebo pravidly v dané zemi. Pokud jste na evropské webové stránce, na německé webové stránce, tak to, co je na produktových stránkách, to bylo všechno schváleno právníky, které jsme si najali. Takže pokud máte obavy z toho, že byste mohli něco pokazit, tak použijte ty schválené webové stránky. Pokud jste ve Francii, používejte francouzské stránky, pokud v Německu německé stránky, anebo evropské stránky, pokud jste v jiných evropských zemích. My jsme na webové stránky pro nové zákazníky přidali nové informace. Jaké zákazníky? Nové zákazníky. To znamená ty, co mají už účet. No já jsem ale na inkognito stránce. Pokud máte účet, tak se vám tato konkrétní stránka neotevře. Ale když jsem ambasador, tak se mi otevře tady to, tak se ti otevře tady to. A kde to teda vidíš, kam si to šel, na jakou stránku? Tohle se ukáže někomu, kdo půjde na americké webovky. Pokud půjde na francouzské, německé nebo EU webovky, tak se mu tady to neukáže. Tady to se ukáže jenom novým zákazníkům na americké webové stránce. A vyberete, kde přesně jste A až to uděláte, tak vás to vlastně hodí na tu správnou stránku. Ale tohle to mě hodilo na evropskou stránku. Ano, to je správně. Takže to je vlastně nástroj, který máme k tomu, abychom vás ochránili před tím, abyste se nedostávali na nesprávné stránky. Zjistili jsme, že když jdete přímo na německou stránku nebo evropskou stránku, tak to neděláte ve chvíli, kdybyste chtěli vědět nějaké věci, které se týkají pravidel toho, co můžete zveřejňovat. Proto jsme na tu stránku koncipovali tímto způsobem. Takže ta správná stránka, na kterou máte jít, tak ta vám ukáže ty jednotlivé oblasti. Kliknete si na oblast a se tam ukáží ty informace, které jsou konkrétní pro tu danou oblast. Slyšeli jsme, že někteří evropští ambasadoři mají problém s tím lidi pod sebou zaregistrovat, protože to prostě nefunguje. A pak ti lidé se třeba zaregistrují přes někoho jiného v nějakém jiném státě a pak je stojí hrozné peníze si nechat produkty zaslat. Ale to by se nemělo dít. My jsme mezinárodní firma. Samozřejmě lidi mají strach z toho, že si budou muset nechávat zasílat balíčky z Ameriky, ale to není pravda. Proto máme ty stránky pro Evropu, pro Německo, pro Francii a tak dále. Máte k tomu nějaké dotazy? Takže to je vlastně nové pop-up okno, které se vám tam otevře, kde si kliknete na ten konkrétní region nebo na ten stát a tam se vám ukážou všechny informace, které se k tomu váží. Naše IT na tom pracovalo opravdu tvrdě. Hrozně času na tom strávili a mysleli jsme si, že to bude trvat lépe, ale funguje to. Možná později budeme mít lepší řešení, ale v současné chvíli je to prostě maximum, co můžeme mít. Jsou někteří lidé, kteří opravdu se bojí, že nebudou postupovat tak, jak mají, že třeba dají někam nějakou informaci, kterou dát nemají, tak pro ně je to právě určené. Dejme tomu, že jste připojeni přes americké stránky, potom to pop-up okno vás automaticky přehodí na ty americké stránky, takže si vyčistěte všechny cookies, anebo si znovu vlastně otevřete ten odkaz ve svém prohlížeči. Musíte i tu cache paměť vymazat. Teď řekl nějaký vtip, já se omlouvám, tomu vtipu jsem vůbec nerozuměla. Jennifer se chce na něco zeptat? Já jsem dříve používala Mac, Apple Macintosh a ten pop-up se mi tam objevil, to pop-up, to vyskakovací okno, ale na telefonu se mi neobjevuje. To znamená, že budu muset používat jenom komunikaci přes telefon a má to co dočinění s IP adresou? Ano. Proto. Když máš nějaké nové zařízení, tak se ti vždycky to objeví znovu a znovu a znovu. Kdyby si resetovala počítač do úplného továrního nastavení a zapnula ho znova, tak se ti to zase objeví. Děkuju. Takže to je první věc, kterou jsme vám chtěli říct. To si myslím, že řeší 80% všech problémů s takzvaným souladem s pravidly. Máme ale ještě jeden nástroj, který jsme vám chtěli ukázat, a ten je ve vaší kanceláři pod sekcí dokumenty. Jdete úplně dolů a tam je různé a ad guidelines, to znamená nastavení k reklamě. Tam si můžete nastavit svůj jazyk, je tam i čeština. A ono vám to řekne, jak správně dělat reklamu našim produktům. Je to velmi dobrý nástroj, pokud máte obavu, že byste mohli nějak nesprávně komunikovat. Většina z vás komunikujete správně, nemáte žádné problémy, nikdy jste neměli s tím nic problematického, ale někteří z vás prostě chcete být opatrní, takže se na to podívejte, mělo by to být ve všech jazycích. Každopádně na začátku se píše, že byste neměli nikdy mluvit jménem o konkrétním člověku, který reprezentuje růd. Můžete prostě říci, že jste ambasadoři růd samozřejmě, ale neříkat, že jste součástí komunity nebo že jste součástí nějaké firmy, protože pokud byste byli firma nebo společník firmy, tak byste měli daleko striktnější pravidla než nějaký ambasador. Takže nikdy nemluvte o tom, že jste součástí růd, jenom jste ambasadory růd pro účely reklamy, protože jinak by se na vás stahovala striktnější pravidla. Další věc, které byste se měli vyhnout, jsou falešná tvrzení o tom, co ty produkty dokáží. Měli jsme na to několik webinářů, ale nejlepší, jak mluvit o produktu, je sdílet svoje osobní zkušenosti nebo mluvit o tom, jak jednotlivé složky toho produktu vám pomohly. Pokud jste v Německu, tak například můžete vždycky tvrdit to, co se píše na německé produktové stránce. To je absolutní jistota. Takže když něco na druhou stranu chcete například publikovat v Německu a skopírujete to z amerických stránek, tak pak si vůbec nemůžete být jistí, že to můžete v Německu tvrdit a prohlašovat. Asi před 6 měsíci se na nás obrátil jeden člověk z Rakouska nebo z Polska, já přesně nevím, ale každopádně ten člověk rozhodil hodně letáků ve svém okolí s informacemi z amerických stránek. Zero In v Americe se propaguje jinak než v Rakousku nebo jinak než v Polsku. Jsou určité věci, které nemůžete v Polsku nebo v Rakousku v Evropské unii o Zero In psát. V Americe můžete. A ten jediná chyba, kterou ten člověk udělal, bylo, že vzal ty informace z americké stránky. V podstatě se jednalo o 3 slova. A ta 3 slova, která tam měl na těch svých letácích, tak mu dost jakoby uškodila, protože musel všechny ty letáky stáhnout z těch obchodů, kde je měl, a z těch veletrhů a nechat to všechno přetisknout. Takže pokud máte obavu, že byste si nechali vytisknout letáky a něco by tam bylo špatně, berte to z těch svých jazykových mutací a z těch produktových karet. Každá země samozřejmě má svoje vlastní specifická pravidla. My v Americe, v Německu a ve větších zemích máme právníky, kteří s námi spolupracují a necháváme přes ně projít všechno, tak abychom si byli jisti. Pokud jste ovšem v nějaké menší zemi a víte, že tam jsou konkrétní pravidla, tak postupujte podle těch pravidel. Ano, máme v Evropské unii evropské právníky na specialisty na evropské právo, ale pokud jste v nějakém státě, kde víte, že se nesmí třeba říkat o kurkumě, že je protizánětlivá. Jsou země, kde to říkat můžete a země, kde se něco takového tvrdit nesmí. Tak to prostě netvrďte, tak postupujte podle toho, jak vám velí místní pravidla. My se snažíme dělat maximum, ale může se stát, že prostě někde bude nějaká výjimka a prostě celé to spadne. Já jsem strávil pár dní v létě v Praze, v České republice, takže když jste v České republice a víte, že je tam nějaký specifický zákon, podle kterého byste měli postupovat, tak podle něj prostě postupujte a neřeknete si, oni nám to na webináři neříkali, tak asi tady ten zákon pro nás, pro RUD, neplatí. Ten zákon platí v České republice, je nadřazen jakýmkoliv jiným zákonům a proto ho musíte ho dodržovat. Musíte jeho ustanovení prostě dodržovat a podle toho postupovat. Já si myslím, že bychom měli dělat pro vás více to, že vám připravíme takové reklamní jakoby stránky pro jednotlivé produkty a budeme je s vámi prověřovat i v těch konkrétních jazycích. Takže pokud vaše stránka má URL root brands nebo health root 3 třeba, tak je to v pořádku, ale nemělo by tam být the root brands, nemělo by tam být logo. Prostě v názvu svého URL byste neměli mít the root brands. Měli byste na tohleto být opatrní. Takže pokud děláte URL, lidé by si to mohli vygooglit přes the root brands a bylo by v URL the root brands, tak to být prostě nemůže. Musíte si vytvořit svoji vlastní webovou adresu. A můžete si dát třeba the root brands 3 nebo the root brands family. Tohle to všechno, co vám tady říkáme, je hlavně na vaši ochranu, protože velké firmy mají jiná pravidla, než mají jednotlivci, ambasadoři, nezávislí prodejci. Ve chvíli, kdybyste se začali tvářit jako the root brands, jako naše firma, tak byste prostě mohli mít problémy právě s dodržováním pravidel. Takže je lepší se schovávat za toho ambasadora. A Linktree je to samé jako landing page. Mně jde o to, aby když si vás někdo googlí, tak aby si vás nevygooglil jako the root brands. Linktree je něco jiného, to vás vlastně přivede zpátky k našim webovým stránkám. Pro nás je důležité, abyste měli landing page v pořádku. Tohle se týká ovšem jenom lidí, kteří si platí svoje vlastní domény a mají svoje vlastní webové stránky. Pokud nemáte svoje vlastní webové stránky, tak si toho vůbec nevšímejte. My máme prostě ambasadory, kteří si vytvářejí svoje vlastní webové stránky. Těch se to týká. vás, kdo jenom používáte odkazy, tak to, co jsme až doposavat říkali, můžete absolutně ignorovat. Můžete samozřejmě pořád používat ten stejný odkaz. Ano, právě jste zodpověděli moji otázku, protože co já dělám na Instagramu a Facebooku je, že tam vždycky dávám ten odkaz. Já nemám žádný svoje vlastní webovky. Ne, odkaz je úplně v pořádku. To, co já jsem říkal, to pro tebe neplatí. To platí jenom pro lidi, kteří mají svoje vlastní domény a svoje vlastní webové stránky. Tebe se to netýká, když to nás dáváš jenom jako odkaz. Clayton vytvořil ten systém tak, abyste mohli používat QR kódy a odkazy, abyste nemuseli mít svoje vlastní webové stránky. Takže tohle je absolutně v pořádku, pokud to používáte. Je to tak nastaveno, aby to bylo pro vás jednodušší. Na druhou stranu jsou lidé, kteří mají svoje vlastní domény, svoje vlastní stránky, a dělají to dobrovolně a dělají to, protože to prostě preferují, baví je to, umí to, mají někoho, kdo jim ty webové stránky řídí a je to úplně v pořádku, ale odkazy nejsou opravdu absolutně žádný problém. Dylan má ještě jednu věc, která je zajímavá pro ambasadory z EU a potom předáme slovo Claytonovi. Když sdílíte produkty nebo sdílíte přímo košík, tak si vždycky napřed vyberte tu stránku, kterou budete používat. Když žijete například v Německu, vyberete si tu stránku DE, pak kliknete na ten produkt a odkaz se vám okamžitě objeví s tou koncovkou DE. Takže pokud chcete sdílet s komunitou v Německu, tak použijte tu koncovku DE. Pokud jste ve Slovinsku, pokud jste ve Francii, tak vždycky si zvolte. A když jste v Evropě, tak nemá smysl, abyste klikali na US, protože přehodíte lidi do Ameriky. Takže já můžu vytvářet obsah a marketingové materiály a dedikované pro Američany, pokud mám nějaké americké klienty? Ano. Ano, můžeš prostě napsat těm Američanům z Evropy, vy hamburgerový dutý hlavy s těma dlouhejma zbraněma schovanýma v kufru. Ne, tak to není. No tak teď si ty Američany popsal úplně dobře. Každopádně to, co je důležité, je, že musíte být v souladu v Německu. Pokud si kliknete, když jste v Německu a kliknete si na US koncovku, tak prostě budete mít veškerý soulad podle americké legislativy. To nechcete, vy si musíte kliknout na DE, abyste měli německou legislativu. Soulad s německou legislativou. Takže zbytek času si bere Clayton se svými tipy a triky. Pokud máte ještě obavy o to, abyste byli v souladu s pravidly, tak napište, ale jinak myslím, že jsme vám vysvětlili docela do detailu, co byste měli dělat a čeho byste se měli držet, takže předávám slovo Claytonovi, který by chtěl mluvit o 2 produktech a pak ty typy, triky. Myslím si, že je důležité, když tlumočíte, abyste dávali důraz na tu správnou slabiku. To jsem nepochopila. Každopádně začneme z road travel. Já si myslím, že ty chceš mluvit o tom, že cestování a kafe nemají absolutně žádná pravidla, protože jsou absolutně pro všechny a vždycky. Já jsem chtěl jenom říci, že hodně lidí se nás ptá na to, jestli budeme otevírat další země. Road travel je úžasná věc. Já jsem teď zrovna Zrovna jsem se připravoval na to, že si přes Road Travel zaregistruju další hotely. Road Travel je absolutně super, ale my chceme tady mluvit o pravidlech a souladu s pravidly, tak mluv o souladu s pravidly. Mluvili jsme o tom, že není v souladu s pravidly, když neříkáte o věcech pravdu. Takže nemůžete říkat, že road travel vám umožní to a to, když to není pravda. Nebo že kafe je nejlepší, když není nejlepší. To by byla falešná tvrzení. Ale Ram Roast je opravdu káva, která je detoxikovaná. Je to jediná káva na světě, která je detoxikovaná. A Kristýna má i patent na to slovo zodit, detox, což je zoded, znamená detox, ale čteno z druhé strany, ze zadu. V Evropě se o detox kafe nesmí mluvit. Detox kafe není termín, který v Evropě můžete využít. Takže můžete říkat zodit kafe, protože zodit kafe existuje. Je to kafe, které je detoxikované. Je to kafe bez toxinů. Je to jediná káva na světě, která je detox, nemá žádné mykotoxiny, má vysoký cup score, je to opravdu káva, která se tímto maximálně liší. A není to detoxikovaná káva, ale je to zodit káva. A to říkám proto, protože se jedná, právě to je ta hra s tím jazykem.
Environment is apparently lax. You cannot talk about disease-specific states, but you can reference the causes of those diseases or health issues and how you can address or cure the causes, and not treating a specific issue, but talking about what's causing them. No, the nice part is we know what the causes are. There is one primary cause to virtually every chronic degenerative disease. That would be mercury. And I don't know if we've shared this yet. I'll make sure we put this out for everybody. We'll put it out in an email with an article this week. But the World Health Organization, the organization that many people don't like and that the government loves, published this in 1976. So take it as it is. It's fact. Right? So the key in this is making sure that you're talking about the subjects that you want to hit on, but doing so in a way that's not going to bring any scrutiny to you for making any aspect of a claim to treat any disease, disorder, dysfunction, anything, regardless of what country you're in. And honestly, if you understand everything that we're about, just like in the Matrix, right, which is a great lesson for a lot of people to take many lessons from, there is no spoon, right? So when you look at a diagnosis, if you're talking to me and we're talking personally, or if I'm talking publicly, I don't recognize diagnoses because they don't really exist. What you have are a bunch of symptoms that have underlying causes that some people are going to diagnose you as so they can prescribe accordingly. But really, you just have a bunch of symptoms based on you being completely toxic and screwed up. That's what we want to talk about.
Can I give
These
an
are the things
example?
you guys should be talking about. What was that, Duquesne?
Can I give an example that's nice and easy?
Yes.
So with coffee, one of the issues people don't drink coffee very often is they say it's acid reflux or coffee stomach, people will call it sometimes. I would never say rum roast fixes or cures acid reflux or coffee stomach. What I would say, hey, if you're struggling with with coffee that has high acidity and upsets your stomach, I actually know a coffee that has been confirmed and tested for low acidity. Do you want to give it a try? I would never, I don't mention acid reflux a single time. All I know is that their issue is their stomach is upset from acid. And I can say, I have a product that is low acidity.
And actually, here's another truth to that. Your stomach is actually not responding to the acidity, it's responding to the mold. That's why you get sick.
But I don't even have to bring that up.
Yeah.
But
the truth.
Couldn't I also say something that couldn't I share my personal life experiences? So couldn't I technically say Dylan Craven has not had acid reflux from coffee since rum roast was created?
Dylan Craven could say that.
I don't drink coffee, so it can't be
Dylan,
wrong.
love to see you drink a cup of coffee, Dylan.
That's okay.
Actually, you know what? We need to do the coffee challenge in the morning to see how that treats Dylan, and if that leads to different Snapchat.
That's not Dylan's issue. But Nurse Christy, I see your hand.
I'm just wondering, some of us have licenses and education that's allows for different things. Does that mean that we also should stay in the lane that Clayton just?
This goes back to if you have compliance or legal that outweighs what we're talking about, then ignore this. So if you are a medical professional, Dylan's a personal trainer. He's able to say things I'm not able to say. But if you are just a normal ambassador, a salesperson, this is guidance for you. Dylan, I see you.
Well, and there's a big difference between personal clinical conversations and mass marketed content.
That's what
So if you're talking to someone, you can have a different conversation, especially if you're a professional. Publicly, you have to be careful of what you're putting out for content.
I'm in a situation where, to use Duquesne's example, where I will have somebody come directly to me and say, I deal with acid reflux on a daily, and I'm tired of taking the, I'm not going to mention the names, right, that are not over the counter. And so I am coaching them on things that they can do. So that is a one-on-one, not mass marketing, as you said. I made sure that what you were saying applied appropriately to.
Yeah, because then if you're having a conversation with somebody, that's a completely different, especially from a consult standpoint, right? But if you look at Christina's background, if you have a PhD actually in the subject matter of which you're discussing, because like a lot of people that have PhDs, it's like done in existential English. And they're like, well, I am a doctor, so I can talk about health subjects, or I took 3 classes in biology at chiropractic school, so I'm a human biologist. Those things don't apply. If you have, a doctorate level of education, you've earned the right to speak on some subjects, that pertain to your doctorate publicly. Christine is able to speak off-label on pharmaceuticals and other subjects because she has 6 doctorates, and she's been in biotech, and she's been trained at a level that none of us have ever seen on compliance of what she's able and capable of saying on stage, off stage, on camera, off camera, in person, in a group, right? So she was taught that from the time she was at Pfizer all the way through Alexion and Biogen IDEC and Bristol Myers Squibb, and then everywhere else she's been. So there's the difference from a personal conversation or a consult and a professional conversation versus public. What we're talking about is public. right? Yes, Amy, you're correct. 3 PhDs, a PsyD, an EDD, an MD. 3 postdocs from Harvard, 2 from Cornell. Adjunct
I want to point out
professor.
too, though, she has all that, but she's still missing a certainty to not make unnecessary claims. She's probably the best in the office to make sure she's like following guidelines, and she
And
has the
she
most
makes-
ability to say things.
She makes sure that she's saying stuff publicly that meets
Yeah.
all of these. And this is one of the important things of understanding, like creating social media content. Every one of you can take all the videos or anything that especially comes from corporate and cut it up and share it and create all these little snippets that people use and that you can overlay stuff and have fun with, because everything that we're going to put out is compliant. And if you model what we're saying or what she's saying, you're probably in good shape.
So this is actually one of our last tips and tricks that we wanted to share. You might have noticed that there's a lot more content going out that are short clips of Clayton or Christina or even Dylan talking about products, ingredients, how the products work. And one of the reasons we did that is because you all will be able to basically take those videos and can, if this is something you're good at or want to do, we're not saying everyone has to do this, but if you are capable, you can create reaction videos to their videos and post it. The reason for this is if you are having Christina talk about it or Dylan talk about Crush, and you are reacting to it and saying, wow, that is so cool. Did you all know this? You are avoiding yourself posting and talking about it, and you're letting the experts talk about it. Dylan, I saw thoughts in your head.
Yeah, I thought of a fun way. If you've ever heard the expression, it's from the horse's mouth. It's a what's it called? The first person example. So like the further away you get from the primary source, the less true it can be. So if Dr. Ram, the creator of the products, is saying something, you're more than welcome to, I think it's called splicing, when you put your where you like cut the video where she's talking above you and you're in part of it. There's cool things you can do with that. And we're trying to make it, as you can mention, to where we're arming with as much as possible to give ambassadors videos to let them really promote the products in a legal way.
Yeah. And
oh, no, go ahead, Clayton. I was just going to say, after you're done, if we want to open up to questions, and then the last 5 minutes I need just for a couple updates.
And the giveaway.
Yeah.
My tips and tricks are basically be creative and take the time to understand the tools that you have at your disposal. Right? I guarantee you, all of you, and this includes me, aren't truly effective at communicating key points of everything that you have at your disposal. Because if you did, you'd all be having a lot more customers personally, which means you'd be making a lot more money. And that's not a bad thing. Because the whole goal in this for everybody to, just so you guys all understand why I constructed this ecosystem the way that I did and why it rewards people for the behaviors that they create. Your sole purpose as an ambassador of a brand, but also the things that you do normally, is share with your friends. That's it. We just decided to reward you for it. Because if you think about this, if you turned your brain off from the aspect of thinking, oh, I'm getting paid to do this and I'm not worthy of receiving money because I don't value myself the way other people value me, that's your psychological work for the day. But if you just had something you liked, you pop a couple zero in and you felt amazing, you're going to tell your friends. You're like, oh my God, you got to try this. Here, try a couple of these. That's zero in marketing campaign. That's it. Oh my God, you got to try these things. Take 2, call me in 20 minutes. You do that a couple times a day and say, oh my, and then say, hey, hit me back in 20 minutes. Tell me how you feel. And then you're like, hey, I'm going to send you a link so you can order this. And you can go on the site like Dylan just did, and you create a zero in specific link to your code in the country that you're in and say, Here, get it right here. It's already in the shopping cart. This stuff's dope.
Hey, Clayton, in one more month, we're gonna have a pretty cool zero in product with a lot less expensive, right?
Oh,
That'd be
my
pretty to
Lord.
share. Okay, I'm gonna say something before we keep going with questions because I want to make sure everyone knows this. Right now, there's only one entry into the calls giveaway, so congrats, Nurse Chris. You're probably gonna win. Between now and before we end the call and announce the winners, I do want to have at least one or two more people. We're gonna give away a $50 coupon to help grow your community. So there'll be two winners. If not, there's gonna be only Nurse Christie. So join in now, private message me on the Zoom. I'd be very shocked to hear that no one else on this call was able to sign up one person over the weekend.
That's gonna hurt my feelings.
It's gonna hurt my feelings.
Well, and so that was, I had three things I wanted to go over. One, as ambassadors, we would love for you all to use these sales and these different opportunities to grow. We have done some trainings on this, but I just want to remind people the key part of growing as an ambassador and sharing these products is finding and reaching new people. And so when we do these sales or giveaways, these are the best times to sign up new customers. The Root ecosystem is so different from all these other MLM companies because it rewards those who are getting the customers and it rewards them fairly. But if you are somebody who hasn't signed up anybody new, or 2 levels down, you haven't had anybody new, and you are upset about your growth, that's because you're not using the system the way it was meant to. And so off on that topic, I know you all got a lot of help when John Rankin was on here doing a sales call. And so we are looking either next week or in 2 weeks to do another John Rankin meeting on how to close sales from new people. But I wanted to remind you of what his first piece of advice was before we have that call, because I can promise you it's going to be the first thing he asked. How many people have reached out to 10 contacts they have, friends and family, and asked for people they could reach out to? Remember, that was his homework. He said, if you reach out to 10 friends and family and ask if they have any connections that would be interested in Zero In or ROM Roast or a travel subscription, don't ask those people yourself for sales. Ask them to refer people that you can reach out to. And you can create a list of 50 to 100 new people as contacts. And so I know John Rankin was in the military. He's very, very routined. And his very first thing is, did you do the homework that I gave you all? Because I can promise you all, if you have not done the tips that he said, he will have no sympathy for you. That's his military background.
I do want to give it a couple more minutes. Like I said, we want these ambassador calls to help grow newer ambassadors. We want to highlight people who are getting new ambassadors. And you had the opportunity this past weekend to share a coupon code that was an unlimited use code for, first off, Clean Spirits, which I had to chug this morning because 4th of July fun. But we want to keep doing this. We want to highlight people like Nurse Christie, who obviously is using these codes to help grow her business, grow her community. So please understand, every week we would like to do something to highlight someone else. But if we don't grow our communities, we can't give anything fun away.
Which this semi leads me to my second point. Route travel, as we said, is great because there's no compliance issues with route travel. You can talk about route travel and saving money on at hotel prices anywhere. There's no compliance based on that. And on that point, I wanted to give a shout out that we had about 5 new people get over 20 RPS people signed up because they were using route travel. So
Let's go.
If you're not taking advantage of this, route travel is helping. Because remember, if you get over 20 RPS people underneath you, you get $10 per
just free money.
And so we just helped. Well, route travel helped 5 new people get a monthly $200 bonus. And so I want to make sure all ambassadors are taking advantage of that, because it is such an easy entryway and we've seen so much success from people. And so we've loved that. So many people are benefiting from it so much.
So if you guys start using this effectively, especially the route travel aspect, it's works out to like $30 a month, right? I'll just use the big number. If you have, it does with the math, but you can make 15 up to, we'll say, an easy $13 a month, but you can add an extra $2 if you create your sub account for marketing. But that's a different conversation. But you can make 13 to 15 bucks a month at a minimum, because you add in daily pay just from building customers with route travel alone, which you can do anywhere in the world. And then if you teach people to share that and use that, you can make a lot real quick.
Hey,
So I'm not sure why people would not take advantage of something that is so simple in a time when people need to make money. And I'm not going to say run it like a money game, but it's more lucrative than any scam that's ever been out there. And it's real.
so
And
for anyone who did not know where this was, it's been on our website for a good while. Let's go to all products. It's gonna be right here.
So the last update is about the route cruise for the growth challenge. And so we had updated all the community leaders. We had got a lot of pushback from leaders and many ambassadors who were upset about our route cruise because they wanted us to do tours visiting communities as well. And so we listened to their advice, and we are now going to do, at the end of the year, we're going to do a Europe tour. And then in September, we are doing a US tour where we are going to tour different cities and visit people in their communities. And so that was at the request of leadership. They didn't think it was fair for us to do a cruise where only 20 people would go. And so what we're going to do instead is that those who accomplished level 1, level 2, level 3, we are coming up with prizes that is the same value that they will get to. We'll reward them with that. And so we're finalizing those. We should have it next week or in 2 weeks. I already came up with the prizes. I just have to come up with a list. But on that point, if you are a US ambassador, the first week in September are the dates that we are looking to do our US tour. And if you are in a community or city where you can get over 50 people together, please reach out to Dylan or I, and we will help put on an event. We've already had 3 or 4 ambassadors reach out from the leadership, kind of platinums and above, who are planning things. But we're starting with the US, and then we're going to work with the European community next. And Clayton and Dr. Rom will be hitting up those places. But we will keep you all updated on that. Please reach out if you have questions on the cruise. If you were one of the person who had achieved it and you're upset, just talk with us. We'll promise we'll give you an answer. And I promise the rewards are still really good. But I see Nurse Christie's hand first.
Theo, message me.
I'm not going to mention the cruise. My question is regarding the cities. With the lab being in Las Vegas now, I think that Las Vegas would be a great place to meet, because there is, because it's Vegas, there are so many inexpensive flights. And especially if it's during the week, Clayton knows this, but if it's during the first part of the week, rooms are cheaper also. You're going to be able to get a lot of people that can get to Vegas. I'm not saying that because
we're working on something like the 8th of August as a little get together in Vegas. I'm working on that today, actually.
The 8th of August?
Yep.
Okay.
In Vegas.
One of the key things, though, is that if ambassadors want events in specific areas, especially if you are kind of a leader of a community, we need you all to make sure that you are bringing customers or potential customers there. I will give a shout out to Europe because the European ambassadors are amazing at this. When you all ask us to do an event and Dr. Ram shows up, there are usually hundreds of people there. And so we just want to remind US ambassadors that it needs to be similar. We need to have that get together to put on an event. If we cannot get over 50 people there, the truth is that Dylan and I will probably end up taking it because it is not as, this sounds, I'm trying to say this
You can't
nice.
inspire people to have less than 50
It's-
people come to an event just to hang out with you and Dylan, though. That's not fair. I see what you're doing.
I think
Well, then get over 50 people and Clayton and Dr. Ram can show up.
Here, let me,
50 is the number.
I want to share this real quick because I'm going to do, this is what, once you order route travel, so we'll do this. You can see down here, this is kind of cool. I'm like, you guys can see me while I show this, I think. So you go to the route travel. Once you order it, you get access to the portal. And then you come here, and then I need to take a trip to Cancun. So I'm going to choose Cancun, Mexico. And I got to go the 25th through the 27th. I'm going to choose done there. I'm going to find my hotel. And it's going to load here real quick. Oh, and since my wife is going to be with me, I need 5-star resorts. And we can stay at the Intercontinental for 50% off. You can see Expedia is $650. Coco, hey.
Can
Hey.
you look up Italy, Clayton? Because we've had
Oh.
people asking if it works in Europe.
Absolutely. So
Look up Venice, Italy after
it
this.
looked pretty good. So we can save $335 for the trip to the Intercontinental, which I might do. Coco, hey, come here. Knock it off. But if we wanted to go to Rome, not Rome, Georgia, for those of you that actually understand geography, but Rome, well, should we go to
Paris, Tennessee.
Paris? We could go to Paris, Tennessee. Let's
To
go
the
to-
historic center. Yeah.
And when do you want to go? No one wants to be in Rome in July. It's too freaking hot.
September 1st.
That's enough. Knock it off. September 1st.
I would July 4th, 1706.
So we'll go 1st through the 7th.
So we're getting new internet supposedly here in the office that's faster.
We've got it faster, but it's- I'm running multiple programs all simultaneously, so it's here we go. But we don't, I mean, we're talking
75%.
about route travel. So oh, here we go. Sixth Senses Rome. This looks nice. We can save 37% off of that trip.
$5,000 you save.
Oh, that's not bad. Like that makes for a pretty good trip.
All right. We are at our time too, so just let everyone know.
But this is some of the fun stuff that you can do in shopping, so you can save. Well, that's kind of cool. This is actually a really cool resort, the Villa Agrippina. I think that's where we stayed once. But you can save $1,300, you know, off of that trip. You can go on Expedia right now and get the same booking for $5,500, or you can get it for $4,200. I mean, that one's pretty too. You save 20%. So
Before we end, I do want to just mention, Nurse Christy was the only person to reach out to me that had a, I guess a winning person. She had a person who joined on July 4th on the dot. Teal, some other people, like people did reach out to me to send some other stuff, but they just didn't qualify. As you came mentioned, we want to see if you want to like gained a new customer while we had all the deals going. So Nurse Christy, I'll get with IT and we'll get you a $50 coupon. The idea is you can use it yourself, but most likely if you're smart, you can send that $50 coupon to someone else to sign them up. So we want to keep doing stuff like this to
Thank you,
encourage
Thank
people
you,
to
Dylan.
share their.
Thank you, Clayton. Sorry to cut you off. I must have had a lag. I apologize.
Good.
Oh, you're
Yep, you
fine.
just lost your coupon. Sorry.
Oh, man.
You interrupted class. That's the penalty.
No, we're happy for you, Nurse Christy. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thanks. Can I
What's
ask a
funny
quick
is people
question?
didn't even lie about getting a customer to try to win $50. I thought that was hilarious.
Last question, Nurse Christy, and then we'll end the call.
Is it possible to get Clayton to do a video like that, or to clip the video that he just did showing how
Our
easy-
marketing team is Marty over here is actually already working on that. So he's creating a loom that we'll put on the page to show people how to do the checkout, and so that ambassadors can train people on that.
that's easy for us to share.
Yeah.
But you guys should do that too. You can just record it on Zoom just like this. You can do a live screen share, record it, throw it up. You can do thing on like on your device while you're on your computer. Be like, yo, check this out. You could do that on the Tiki-Talkie.
And then I sent a message to Duquesne. I just want to make sure you guys saw it before it gets lost.
It was
About a
probably already
suggestion.
lost.
We can look at doing that. We have sales calls scheduled for the next couple weeks, just as a heads up, because people have been saying they're struggling with getting new customers. So that's kind of the focus. But once we're through with this month, we can look at doing some more marketing content.
Yeah, I think it was probably 2 months ago that we had a call that went over a lot of that, where we talked about how to like embed links and all that kind of stuff. So it will be time, maybe the end of July, we can look back into doing another marketing referral links and how to actually link and embed things properly. So we'll put it on the calendar, Ms. Christie.
If you know which week that was that you already went over it, would you mind
I tell
sharing
you
it?
what.
Oh, you
once
should
you've
go
had
back
12
and watch them all.
Yeah, there you go. So you might
I
as well
don't
pick
have
up the time to
time.
do
Wish
that.
I could.
Dylan, can you message her that, and then we'll have to end the call just for time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, seriously, yeah, I'll try to find it. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll have to end here. We'll get to that, and like I said, we'll do another one for it too. Thank you, everyone. I do want to really reiterate, get more people on the call. We'll do some giveaways next time. But thank you, everyone.
Bye, you all.